Yes, I would like to plug a couple of events, future events. One is a gang stalking protest that is Wednesday at 11 a.m. This Wednesday, the 14th of March at 11 a.m. on the right-hand side of the main carriage entrance of the House of Parliament. And the other one is an international summer gathering, which has been, organized, thinking of in a loose way of the last year Boston Unity and Hope conference last year. So basically, is international summer gathering. It would be nice if it's all the success is dependent on how many people are going to turn up. Basically, so it would be great if if you people were to turn up. International summer gathering on June 16 at 11 o'clock in the morning. People meet on a Saturday meeting. Speaker corner in Hyde Park. So then after that, after meeting, maybe we stick around, for 1 hour to make sure all the travelers and everyone is getting there. And then after that, we are going to move to a venue still to be confirmed. Possibly the boardroom of a pub or something similar, or so that is. So I will try to explain to people why I think it's quite important for people to support these events. At the moment, we are getting a bit of a lack of support, and last time, I think last time we did a House of Parliament protest was the 21st of February. There was 3 people there, including myself, and then there was Winnie, and we came all the way from Birmingham, and Marcin, which has been a regular to our event for quite a long time. So that was not, in terms of number, that was not exactly great, but so we had in the past like events, protest, and meeting. I wouldn't say a lot of them, but quite a few of them. A number of them were up to 25 people strong. When we had on the 21st of February last year, we had our BBC Broadcasting House protest. There was easily up to 25 people there. So obviously it's a quiet time. A part of it may be due to the weather, which is not brilliant. A part of it may be due to fatigue, because we have been trying to have this for up to 18 months. We have been trying to have this House of Parliament protest almost every week when the Parliament, at time when the Parliament was sitting. Always on Wednesday, always at lunchtime, which is the time of Prime Minister question time. And that's the time when the House is full. There is constant coming and going of journalists, member of Parliament, and I suspect that at other times there may be quite a lot less MP in the House, but that's one time in the week when almost everyone is there. So it's journalists going in and out, member of Parliament going in and out. So I think that may have been a bit too much for a lot of people. I suppose you get people coming, that they stop coming. But let me explain why it is. I think it's quite. Let me explain why I think it's quite important for people to support these events, these protests, because there's people have been saying things like, "Oh, you've been going for up to 10 years in London. First on my own, then with layers, London and Stalking, with involving in a number of people, sometimes a lot of people, sometimes just a few people. If you say, what have you achieved? What we have achieved? And it's a bit of a silly question, because, I mean, there's these people looking for some sort of magic bullet, like, it's going to stop everything, the targeting tomorrow. That is not going to happen, because we have a deep state, which is, I mean, it would be very nice if we could find some sort of magic bullet to make all the targeting end tomorrow, but you need to look at the situation in a kind of objective way. Maybe what we are going through now is but if you look at the situation, because this is something which has been done by the deep state. If you look at what the deep state is at the moment, they're basically running a ring around practically everyone, American presidents. No matter what you think of Trump, but they just they're running around American president, politician, everyone else, let alone targeting individuals. So we have a deep state out of control. If you're looking for a magic bullet, and you're going to, in the next couple of months we are going to make everything stop, it's not going to happen. So, but what have we achieved? What have we achieved? We started with, by at the time I started, maybe not exactly 9-10 years ago, I started on my own. Started doing things on my own, and I was tapping a bit into my past experience of activism in different campaigns. So I think I tried to translate this experience into TI activism, and doing everything I could, but without getting really a lot of practical logistic support from anyone. But some support, but so basically, and so we started with a situation which when I started on my own, and 9-10 years ago, and I was actually inspired by the fact that at the time there was the first DI protest happening in Los Angeles, in Ettingen, in Germany, and in many other places in Belgium. So then I tapped on my past experience of activism to start some sort of TI activism. But people say, what have you achieved in all this time? What we have achieved is that when I started, there was very little going on in this country for a number of reasons. John Olman had been relocating to Devon, and so obviously was not longer able to be at the center of things for logistic reasons. So we started a situation then which was a bit of a ground zero in terms of awareness of the general public, and total ignorance, it's completely our issue was completely off the radar, and so I started. The way I started in the beginning was to leaflet, to marches and protest and demonstration, political rally. They're giving away quite a bit of leaflet because of the camaraderie there. So people are taking the leaflet. I don't know if they were reading it, but they were taking the leaflet quite easily. And then we went from a situation of total ignorance, being completely off the radar, to a situation when, at some point, it felt like most political activists in all the different campaigns in London, that they knew what we were saying. It's not to say that they were endorsing or completely endorsing what we were saying, but at least they started to get some idea what we were going around saying and trying to explain to people. And we found a lot of support in many other campaigns. People were quite polite, quite willing to listen to us. In other campaigns, they were outright supportive, because I remember, particularly with two campaigns, the anti-chemtrails campaign, with the anti-Monsanto, anti-GMO campaign, with you were getting quite a lot of support. We like, we try to explain to people things, and they were coming back to us say, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. So we get quite a lot of response, with some of the campaign, we get quite a lot of response and quite a lot of support. But even the people who were not so supportive, at least now they know what we are talking about, which is, I think, is no mean feat in my opinion. I mean, if people want to be objective about it, but I keep an eye and try to get people in alternative media involved, and then we had this thing about for 18 months being outside every Wednesday outside the House of Parliament, with the Parliament sitting, and and now I was at some point a few months ago I was talking with this London TI guy called David Payne. And he was telling me that on one occasion he managed to get together with his member of parliament, a maverick Tory MP called Peter Bone, which on one occasion also he stopped to talk to us outside the House of Parliament. I have the film, I have the video. He did ask his member of parliament, Peter Bone, if he knew about us outside the House of Parliament. Well, of course he knew, because on one occasion he stopped to talk to us, I remember. But anyway, Peter Bone replied that he knew about us, and that by now quite a lot of member of parliament, knew about us, because quite a number of people have been taking our leaflet, amongst others. People like Alex Salmon, which now is no longer in Parliament, Tim Farron, the former leader of the Lib Dem, David Skinner, John McDonnell on one occasion took some of our literature. And prior to becoming leader of the Labour Party, we managed to slip some of our literature to Jeremy Corbyn 3 times, which he never got back to us. There was never a chance to have a proper conversation about it, but he keep taking our literature for some reason, and so that's quite good. So so we say, what have you achieved? And then we get some interest from I wouldn't say from the network, but we get some interest from individual people at Press TV and Russia Today, which was more on a personal basis. I don't know any chance of the network being involved or doing any kind of documentary on us, but better than nothing. So when people say, what have you achieved? Well, we have achieved a few things. And the thing is, I think is, to me, this kind of protest, I don't know about, now we are in a situation when I don't know if we should keep up this protest on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. It does depends very much on the number of people who are going to turn up on Wednesday. But I think is a good way of carrying on. I mean, I think it's a good way of moving forward, because after every protest in the past, in the present, we always add some sort of socials whereby people can 1 or 2 hours get together in a cafe, or and talk about things, and share experiences, and maybe share a project for the future, thing to do. But so there is many different way of doing things, and I think I'm quite in favor of this kind of carry on with this kind of protest, because in a way you get the people who are really serious about doing stuff, because I don't know about plants or perhaps wanting to spend a couple of hours in front of the House of Parliament protesting. So I mean, it's screen a bit like the people who you don't really want to have there. So it gets you to people who are really serious about doing something. Is doesn't preclude the possibility, to having a social interaction or a meeting afterwards. So it's pretty short. I deliberately keeping at the moment this protest pretty short, just 1 hour and a half. So it's going to be 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. So it's not too strenuous and demanding. So people will have the opportunity afterward to go to a cafe, which the idea is to go to the Wellesley Cafe inside Westminster Central Hall, which is not part of Parliament, is at the opposite end of the square of Parliament Square, which is it's a cafeteria which is very spacious. So no matter how crowded it may become, you still have the opportunity to get your own corner, have some space, and being able to talk. So I think it would be really a pity if this kind of protest were to stop, were to stop for lack of support. I probably would keep going anyway, and being outside the House of Parliament and BBC Broadcasting House and Downing Street any number of times every month or something. But will be really a pity, I think, if this kind of protest, as an event when people get involved, were to stop, because I think we are on the right track. I mean, sometimes we are there with placards, we shout the slogan, things like, campaign for harassment, sanctioned by the authority, destroying innocent lives, and when I see some member of parliament going through, I raise my voice a bit, and I see them getting already in the face and stuff. So there is a response, and maybe people start to feel a bit guilty that they allow this thing to carry on without doing anything at all. So I think it would be really a huge missed opportunity if we had to stop this kind of protests for lack of support. So as I said, we had 3 people last time. Myself, Winnie from Birmingham, and Marcin. And it is Wednesday. Let's hope there is going to be a lot more. I think we don't have a lot of resources. Unlike a lot of people in the TI community trying to do things, I never asked a penny, I never took a penny out of anyone. So we don't have a lot of resources in terms of having being able to have access to a lot of resources, and webmasters and people designing websites. And we have quite a nice website. I mean, Let's London Stalking, which you can find at altnews, jigsy.com, which is full of information. It may not be too sleek, but it's full of information, video, the latest news from all over the world, which sometimes people are so kind to send me email and let me know about things going on. So I think it would be really a pity if this kind of protests were to stop because of lack of support. I think I may consider that, depending on how things are going to go, I may consider maybe slowing down a bit, maybe having once a protest every month instead of one every week, which possibly is understandably a bit too much for a lot of people. But so let's keep this protest going. I mean, there's possibility to have a TI meeting afterward. It's only 1 hour and a half, so people are welcome to come anytime. They don't have to come at 11 o'clock. They can come towards the end if they just want to have a little TI meeting. So that's perfectly right. People are most welcome to make their own placard, make their own literature, or to use the one which we have been using for a long time. So it's totally relaxed, totally friendly, and I often, found out that actually when people get together to do something like this, some activism together, you get actually better interaction with people that you may get in a TI meeting. So by getting together, doing something together, which is quite relevant, which is quite important. I mean, important, which may have some traction, and then, people afterward they may even have a better interaction than just if people go to a TI meeting and sit down there. So, I will encourage people to join in, and that's, I think, is all I have to say for the time being.